Hi, good evening. This is gonna be a really short video, and in this video, what I'm gonna summarize is my interview experience for my current post. I'm just gonna explain it to you what kind of questions were asked and how did I tackle, and maybe they might help you. Because initially, when I had an interview call and I was informed that I'm gonna be undergoing an interview in Ireland, and me having absolutely no experience of it, because it was my first interview in Europe, or an interview call from Europe. So I was kind of, in doubt that what kind of questions would be asked, what am I supposed to do, and etc etc. So anyhow, I'm gonna get to it. I initially, when I was told that I'm gonna get an interview, I have an interview. uh, I started thinking, okay, how to prepare for it. And usually it's a very difficult thing to consider preparing for an interview, especially when you do not know if the interviewer is going to be asking you about your medical skills, or clinical skills, or is he going to focus theoretical stuff, is he going to focus on theoretical stuff, or he's just going to be talking general knowledge, so you don't really know. So what I thought I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try to brush up on my clinical skills. I mean, since okay, that might be that was an important thing for me to consider. And during that time, I was already preparing for my external examination. So I thought, okay, even though I am preparing for my exam, I don't know what other stuff I can study about to brush up my clinical skills. But anyhow, that is what I thought, I'm gonna brush up on my clinical skills. So that is what I did. I started just reading up some stuff, and one of my recruiters also sent me some data regarding the hospital, some data regarding the HSC, how things get done, how get things, how things work here. So I was just reading through that, and I was just brushing up on my clinical skills. So to cut the long story short, I was offered two interviews in Ireland. I got my medical license in April. Yeah, I got my medical license in April 2022, and I got my first interview in June, if I'm not mistaken. Was it in June 26th? I was informed that my first interview would be on June 26th, and yeah, that was it, June 26th. 6th. So okay, and at the time I was told, I think it was 6th or 5th July. Sorry, it was 5th or 6th June, not July. Yeah, on the 5th or 6th June, I was informed that my interview is going to be on the 26th of June. And it was like, really, I was really anxious about the whole thing, because it was, I do not like things that give me anxiety. Nobody does. But and it was something, I mean, I was really anxious about. So anyhow, I started thinking about it all the time, and I was just trying to read. And then I'm not going to tell you the names of the hospital. Pretty much everything already. But anyhow, I'm not going to name any hospitals. But I was offered two places, interviews for two places. The first hospital I was offered by, my interview for that hospital was on 26th of June. And then I was already 1 week into the waiting time, preparing for my interview on the 26th of June. I was suddenly informed by my recruiter that I have an urgent, immediate interview on 15th or 16th of June, and there is only a few days. There were, I think it was after 10th of June, and I was informed, like, there is an interview on the 16th of June. Are you ready to take that? Would you be keen to take that? It's a really short notice. I said, why not? I would just go through the interview just for the sake of an experience for maybe my interview on the 26th. So anyhow, I took the interview, my very first. The second interview I got turned out to be my first interview. So the first interview I took was on the 16th of June. It was extremely pleasant experience. Number one, the thing that I was really impressed about was I was informed, like for example, I was told that the interview would be at 8:30 a.m. and it was exactly at the time. It was 8:30 a.m. and I was in the presence of a consultant who is not only a consultant, who was a chief consultant who has been there for extremely long time, who is one of the uh, persons in the system, who is making the system, running the system. And he is one of the policy, I would say he is part of the policies that are ongoing. So it was really to make things worse, I was already informed beforehand that this would be one of the persons taking your interview. So it was beyond me to impress the person or impress the guy. So I had absolutely lost hope that there is no way for me to impress this person. He's seen it all, done it all, too much experience. So I just forgot about trying to do anything extraordinary or trying to just be too impressive, because I thought if I'm gonna try to end up trying to be somebody who I'm not, I'm gonna end up being not myself, and it's gonna just make matters worse. So what I thought is, okay, let's just stay calm and focused on the things that I know, stick to the basics, and just go from there. There is no need for me to be very extravagant and try to impress my interviewer or the person asking me the questions on the given day. So, yeah, the time was 8:30, and then we started on a lighter note. I was just asked to inform about, I mean, just to talk about myself, uh, where I'm from, what am I currently doing, how is like my family, and just basically an ice breaking stuff. I was just That was just an ice breaking stuff, and that was about it. It was just a small icebreaker session. That was it. And then the next part was, yeah, so I'm just thinking at the same time. So once I finished my initial section, which was ice breaking, I went to the next section where okay, he informed me before, and okay, now we're gonna get to the clinical bit. So in the clinical bit, the questions that were asked most specifically were, one of them was, I'm not gonna actually uh, inform you guys, or how can I express this in a better way, is that I'm not gonna exactly state the questions that were informed or told to me. What I'm gonna say is maybe the things that are very similar to the questions or the scenarios that were asked, but these are not actually the things that were asked. They're just similar to it. So one of the things is, what how important is time management in the ED when you're seeing a patient, and how would you manage time, and how would you prioritize the patients on the list? So this was one of the important questions asked. So yes, you guys can think about it, how you're gonna manage your time, and what determines which patients get the priority. Now I'm not informing you guys the exact questions, but this is something similar. It is something similar to it, and it asks you regarding the time management. Another thing or another scenario is related to cardiovascular maybe. And yes, I cardiovascular, maybe young adult coming in with chest pain. How would you manage? What are the things that you would consider, and how would you treat? So that is next stuff. And then following this, so basically I got one time management stuff, then I have a younger population causing heart. So you need to know what are the things, or what are the diseases that can cause heart problems in younger generation, or in teens maybe. And then the third one was a geriatric patient coming in with abdominal discomfort or pain. So what are the scenarios, or what are the diseases or pathologies that can cause that presentation in a geriatric patient. So you need to know that. I mean, this is what was asked of me, and I was able to just answer what I could. So this is what I answered. So initially, when I asked answered these questions, and these questions were asked to me, I was quite confident that I was able to answer to the best of my ability, and that is what I was trying to do. I was not trying to impress the person interviewing me. What I was trying to do is trying to answer the questions in the best possible way I can, and at the same time, I was trying to be very uh, uh, clear in the answers that I'm giving. So if you have a lot of knowledge, if you have a lot of experience in your field, sometimes you tend to assume the other person would already know what you're saying, or other person would understand if you just touch the base and you don't follow up on it. So it's quite difficult, considering that if I am from one part of the world going to another part of the world, I really do not know what is the thinking pattern, or what is the thinking process or thought process of the person on the other side. So you do your best to try to explain the whole situation. Don't just assume the things would be understood per se. So that is another thing. Make sure that other person understands what you're saying. That is extremely important. So that was about it. Then to end that, I was informed that okay, you would be told within 24 hours that if your post is confirmed, or if you would be offered the job. And yeah, that was about it. But I have to say, the person interviewing me was extremely helpful. He was extremely patient. He would not interrupt me. He would let me finish. He would try his, like, if he gets the sense that I am just getting a bit nervous, or if I am just a bit anxious, he would try his best to calm me down, to get the best performance out of me. So eventually what happened was that everything went smoothly. I think it was roughly 15 to 20 minutes interview, and that was it. This is the kind of stuff that was asked. And then I was told that okay, 24 hours and you would be informed, and that was it. Finish. And then that was about it. So then I was extremely happy and satisfied and content that my interview went well. But then at the same time, I just did not want I at the back of my mind, I was quite sure, okay, this is the thing I want to go through with. But at the same time, I was thinking that I have another interview, so I just want to go with that interview as well, just for the sake of experience. So, and that is what I did. I took my second interview, and I cannot I cannot stress the fact that how disappointed I was with that interview, because I believe if I would have taken that second interview first, I would have absolutely stopped the plan of going to, or dropped the plan of going to Ireland, because my second interview went absolutely horrendous. I was told that the interview would be in the morning around 8:30. I was, again, because my first experience was very good, punctual. I was exactly on time with my second interview, 8:30. Now the other person who was supposed to interview me at 8:30 only came online almost 1 hour late, and I was just waiting. They did not even bother to leave even a message that okay, we are running late, there's some technical difficulties. I mean, phone, internet, WhatsApp messages, everything is always there, and it just takes one message to inform the other person. So it was not done. I was not informed, so I was just waiting for 1 hour for this person to show up, and that is what they did. Once they showed up, they did not even bother to apologize that they are 1 hour late. They never said anything, and they were just rushing. It's like they are doing me a favor just talking to me. So I was extremely annoyed, frustrated with the whole thing, that you are late, then you are rushing, and then you are trying to make it seem like you are doing me a favor just talking to me. And that was like really bad experience for me. I was really annoyed. I was mentally flustered, absolutely flustered. I did not even want to proceed with it. I just sat through it. So And then they did not even apologize about it. So they were saying, okay, yeah, we're running late, we're just gonna fish through it, let's just get to the point. And then the consultant, I don't want to name him, but I absolutely do not, I would not want to be in the company of a person with that kind of attitude. So that is absolutely how I feel, because the person or the consultant who was there, he was just he is late, and then he's sitting there, and then he's just asking me a question. And then there was nothing, nothing about ice breaking, there was nothing about calming another person down. I feel the person absolutely lacked the basic concept of soft skills. I mean, he's a consultant, but he doesn't know what soft skills are, so that explains a lot. So yeah, he just sat there, he directly asked me a question, and then I'm trying to explain it to him, and then he just shuts me off in the middle, and then he said, please, can you get to the point? And I was kind of taken back, and at that point I was already shut off, my mind was already off. And then he asked me something, and then I say, yeah, I answered, and then he just asked me some follow-up question to it. I just said, I'm sorry, I don't know. Because at that moment when he cut me off, I had already said in my mind that I'm not going to be working for you. So and then because I am already working where I am, I'm already settled where I am, I'm not some displaced person who is looking, hoping for one place to go to another place. There is no reason for me to come to you if that is the kind of work I'm going to be coming at. Because if you are making a move for career progression, you want somebody who is willing to listen to you in order for you to progress further, take one step ahead in your career. If you're going to end up meeting somebody who is already have this kind of attitude, I'm not trying to degrade anybody, I'm not trying to say one thing is better than the other. Maybe there was a lot of workload, I do not know. I'm just saying my experience, and what I'm saying is that kind of stuff doesn't work with me. I cannot work under that kind of environment, because I cannot function, because my brain doesn't work that way. The more you try to push, the more you try to work, the more you try to tell somebody to get to the point faster, faster, it just doesn't work. My brain shuts down. So it's like I cannot function in such environment. So it's exactly that is what happened during that interview. So even though if that person had a great candidate on his hand, he just ruined that whole opportunity or potential that that person had of utilizing. And I believe and I felt that I am an asset from the place where I'm leaving from and going to. And those were some of the references I also got from my supervisors, that they believed that I was one of those people who can really make a difference. So I was really happy, but at the same time I did not have this thinking at the back of my mind that I already have a lot of knowledge, and I it's time for me to teach, and it's time for me to put in give a lot of input. Because once we move from one place to another place, there is a whole new environment, there is a whole new system. Whatever or whatever you might have learned on your way going to that place, maybe those things do not even apply there anymore. Or maybe the things that are not properly taught, maybe it is good for that place, it's not good. So all these things were revolving around my mind. So on one place I know what I'm good at, but at the same time I'm afraid of the fact that that might not be good enough, or that might not be applicable to the environment where I'm going at. So I had this open mindset where I'm ready to pick up new things. At the same time, I'm ready to listen to the people who have been in the system for a longer period than me, so they can help me get into that mold where I can apply those things. But at the same time, once I know those things, it is my responsibility and duty to pass those things on to the uh, new incoming people. So I also revise those things. At the same time, I'm helping others to ascertain and acquire and learn those things. So I think I went a bit overboard and off topic there, but yeah. So my if the summary is, if my first interview that I got would have been my first interview that I took, I would not have ended up in Ireland. Because That interview went absolutely horrible. I do not recommend that thing to anybody. But the interview that was supposed to be second, it just went in front, and it was really great. I mean, I had great time. Even now, I feel that I'm heard. I feel that I'm able to express myself. At the same time, I'm learning, and I feel that the things are really different. Things are extremely different, and you have to spend time in the system to get used to the system. It does not matter how much knowledge you have, it does not matter how much you know, it just does not matter how experienced you are. Because once you move from your area and your comfort zone, and you move to the newer areas of your working place, you're gonna find there is a huge difference. So yeah, I think this was just my experience regarding the interview. There are a lot of other things that I can talk about regarding why you should come to Ireland, why Malaysian doctors can come to Ireland, why Pakistanis can come to Ireland. Maybe in the future I'll make some more of those videos why you should do that. But for now, I feel that yeah, this was my interview experience. I hope these little, it's bit tiny bits help you out. Because when I was gonna go through my interview, I was just YouTubing, and I couldn't find anything or any stuff that could help me to prepare for my interview. I didn't even know what kind of questions they would ask. So yeah, I would suggest that if they have informed you the hospital from which your interviewer would be from, the first thing at least you should do is just Google the hospital, check out the names of the consultants. And this is exactly what I did when I was told I'm gonna be interviewed by one of the big hospitals in Dublin. I just went on Google, you Google the hospital, checked out the consultant's name, and I just saw one of the consultant and all the achievements and the difference the person is making, and really impressed me. And turned out he was the same person who was interviewing me. So I was really honored to be in his presence, because he was such a high rank person there. And the difference he's making with all the hard work he's doing simultaneously, dealing with so many things. So it is really impressive, and I had a really good experience. So okay guys, thank you so much. I hope it helps. I wish you all the best. If you have any more questions, you can always email me, leave a comment, and hopefully it helps. Whatever guys, whatever helps you, stay happy and make each other's life easy, not difficult. Stay blessed. Bye bye.